Hello grade 12s. I've received some of your civil analytical questions, and there seem to be certain aspects that you're commonly making mistakes with. So I'd just like to review some of those points. First of all, we need to understand that the work has been applied from the SABS or the SANS document 0143, which relates to building codes and practices. So in that document, I've picked out some of the pages, and on page 18 they talk about the site plan. The site plan has commonly been the type of drawing that they have given in the civil analytical question for the past couple of years. So we need to understand what a site plan is. So in a site plan, all these relevant information should be indicated. And the key here for me, I think, is this point which talks about the stand number and the adjacent stand numbers. So that is one way we should be able to understand and determine what a site plan is the size of the drawing where it's relating to the actual stand. It's not something specific like the floor plan or an elevation, and it's not a locality drawing. So a locality drawing is where it would show the stand in a suburb or in a bigger area. What you can see here is the locality plan. So this is also from the SANS document. So locality, this is where it fits into in the local area. So we haven't got any drawings like that you need to analyze. Here is your example of your site plan. So where they've got the adjacent buildings with the property numbers on it. In the interpretation of this drawing, what we also need to do is bring into the different line types. I'll be sending you a document with those different line types. In the line types, what we need to remember is that the center line here, or a chain line, axial line, is there to indicate sewerage or pipes. Now this is quite a small site plan, very basic site plan, showing that. How do we know that it is a site plan and these lines are sewerage lines? Generally, this line is attached to the building and would have rodding eyes or inspection eyes. So as soon as you see something that's talking about RE, rodding eye, IE, inspection eye, and could be attached to a MH, a manhole, that would indicate it's a sewerage line. A very common question. The north point, the scale. The other one here is very common, BL, the building line. So any of these measurements are indicating here is the boundary line. So this is the edge of your property, often where you might have a wall or fence. Now, each building has to be built a certain distance away from the edge of that. So these measurements are indicating the building line. Often they are indicated by the abbreviation BL. Those questions often come up when they want you to calculate some measurements, and they want you to understand that the BL means that is the minimum distance away from either the edge of the boundary line or the edge of the road is, and you would need to include that in some type of calculation. So very important, BL, the building line. So please just take note of these points that are on here, what needs to be on your site plan. Let's take a look at this drawing, just picking up the different features that we can pick up on this drawing. I'm going to just start at the top and work my way to the bottom. So at the top of the page, we've got the north point. What does that mean? It means north is in this direction, which means that this is the north elevation. So if I was standing here and looking at my house, this would be my north elevation, and anywhere from that. So there's bound to be a question relating to the direction. Next, here are the different stands. There's earth 3201, earth 4200. They don't seem, they've said this is 3199. Now with that, this is how they might link in the direction, and they might say to you in which direction, or what is the earth's number to the west of this property, and you've got to be able to interpret that correctly. This long line is indicating the boundary line of 35,000 millimeters. Here is the boundary indicated by 50,000 millimeters. Next, we've got 618, 617 on a squiggly line. A squiggly line is indicating a contour line, in other words, geography. So they might ask you what type of line it is, so it would be a contour line, or they might ask you to calculate a height measurement. So they might ask you which corner A, B, C, D is the highest point, or is there a slope, or what is the difference in the height. With the height, we've also got spot heights or corner heights. So the number here, 615, 618, 613, 612, indicates the height of this property at that point above sea level in meters. So please remember that the height measurement is in meters, but our distance measurements are in millimeters. So you don't need to convert anything with this. Okay, so corner heights, spot heights, beacon heights are at the corners of the property. Then we've got the BL, so there's the building line, meaning we can't build in that space. So it's a sort of what they refer to as a servitude. You can't build within 2 meters of the boundary. So the edge of your property where the wall is the boundary line, and this center line here with the BL on it is your building line. You can't build there. How do they check with that? Well, with your understanding, they might put a certain property or something sticking past that, and there'll be a question asking you, why wasn't this approved by the council? And it's because something is of the building, or a new building is sticking past the building line. The circle there, and it's even indicated, is the tree. Now, for some reason, when they asked in this question, they asked how many trees are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trees. This tree is still here, but because it's in this dashed line, it means that it needs to be removed. Anything with a dashed line means it needs to be removed. Now, sometimes they talk about demolished, but demolished is not something you really describe to a tree. I'm going to demolish a tree. It doesn't really make sense. If it was somewhere on the building, it would imply that you would be demolishing something on the building or removing something from the building. So there's your new proposed building, the trees, the size of the pool, the patio. Now if you're on a patio, here is something with a ratio. Over here is something with extra lines and an arrow. These two are very similar, and this is quite a common sight because you should know about it for your pat. That would be a ramp, which is there because somebody might be handicapped. The arrow direction is always pointing up. The ratio is 1 to 10, which means that you would rise whatever measurement you were going to go by 1 for every horizontal 10. So it's giving you the slope that it needs to be at. Here is your existing dwelling. Here is a W outside the square. There's a W on the inside of the square. Commonly asked questions. You need to come up with a way of remembering which ones these are. The W on the inside is a watt meter. In other words, it's there to measure the amount of electricity that you're using, a watt meter. I might say it's an electrical meter, and there's an I in electrical, and that is why the W is on the inside. So I for in electrical and I for inside might be a way of trying to remember that. This one where the W is on the outside is a water tank. So it will be close to the house so that it could harvest water from the rainwater downpipes. Here we've got steps. Remember, the arrow is always pointing up. MH, manhole, so there should be some sewerage point there. Down here they've indicated it's a site plan, and they've given you the scale of the drawing as 1 to 200. New drawing. Hello grade 12s. I'm just going to go through this drawing here. This is the 2015 final paper, so that you can see what I'm going to do and how I would approach this civil analytical question. The first thing that I would try and do is look at the diagram before looking at the questions. Take in what you can see here. I can see Protea Street. We've got a center line running down the street. Chances are that there will be a manhole here, which I've come past. Remember, because the center line in a civil analytical drawing indicates there is a sewerage line. Anything attached to that line would be about sewerage. So if we follow this line across, I can see there's something here indicated by the abbreviation ST. ST would imply septic tank. So in agricultural areas, they don't usually have a municipal system. They would have a septic tank where you would store all your sewage until one of those honeysuckers comes past and drains it if it's needing to be drained. Remember, I said to you as well that it could then be at the building. There could be inspection eyes as well as rodding eyes. What type of questions are they going to ask you? How many inspection eyes are there? What does the abbreviation IE stand for? What does the abbreviation RE stand for? On this side there's a soak pit as well, so this could be for any of the grey water, so in other words water that you've used in your sink, water that you've used in a basin, water from a bath, water from a shower could go to the soak pit. Sewage would go to the septic tank. They've indicated at the corner of the property the spot height, beacon height, anything like that. They've got your building line, BL, BL. Remember what we said about the building line is that it shouldn't have anything crossing it. So this could be a problem. So they might be asking us, why wasn't this approved? And there's a reason it's going across that building line. Here is something in hidden detail. Remember, hidden detail in a civil analytical drawing indicates something that needs to be removed or demolished. Same for this tree here. The 2 trees there that are in hidden detail. There's another one, there's 3. Tells us the different stand numbers on the other sides. How would that relate? They might ask us a geography question relating to the direction that the different stands are. Maybe they might do that with the street. So which side of the street is, which direction is Proteus Street? There they've given us it's a site plan. There they've given us a scale of 1 to 2,000. That's enormous. Now I'm going to go through my questions. What type of civil drawing is shown? We've covered that already. It's a site plan. Which elevation of the drawing faces Proteus Street? So there we go. Here is north. So if this is north, this is west, east, south. So if you were standing here, it's the west elevation. Our answers are in block capitals. On a site plan, U drawings must be drawn in red. How many inspection eyes? So let's follow our drawing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which of the labeled corners is the highest point? So let's measure. A is 838, B 839, C 836, D 836. So our highest corner is 839, which is B. Next question, on which property are the proposed building additions? So they want us to tell them the site number, and the site of this is F336. What is feature 1 called with no abbreviations? Manhole. Number 2, the septic tank. 3, the building line. 4. So remember, there's that squiggly line. As soon as we have a squiggly line, we know it's a contour line. 5, it's the circle there. So in other words, they want the tree to be removed. 6, spot height. 'Beacon height. 7, why is that in a dashed line? So they're asking you whether you understand what the hidden detail for. So we could say to be removed. or demolished. Sorry. You could always say building to be demolished, because that would have been some type of building. So here's your question regarding the building line. If the owners wanted to construct a brick wall along the Protea Street boundary, how close will this wall be to the street? Here's Protea Street. So on this side it's saying how far away is the building line, and it's 2 meters, or obviously 2000 millimeters. Here is the building line question again. Would the given drawing be accepted by the town engineer? Remember, this is hanging over the building line. So the question is, would it be given acceptance? And our answer is no. Give your reason. The new flat is over the building line.